Ji-hoon's mother made his first love disappear when he was 22. No explanation, no goodbye, just gone. He never fought back. That was the year he learned that empires don't bend for hearts, and he stopped trying to make them. 15 years later, in a restaurant 300 miles from home, he meets a woman who won't let him fix her problems, won't let him in, and won't pretend to be impressed. And for reasons he doesn't understand yet, that makes him want to try again. He doesn't know that trying will be the problem, that protection and control look exactly the same when you're the one with all the power. Before we dive into this collision of two worlds, if you live for spicy Afro-Korean drama and you're ready to manifest a love that actually fights for you, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. Join the family, my lovies, and let's see if love is strong enough to survive an empire. The boardroom lights hum overhead, that persistent frequency that lives between sound and headache. Ji-hoon sits at the head of the table, while Park, his CFO, drones through quarterly projections, revenue growth, market penetration, risk mitigation, the language of empire. He nods at the right moments, signs where they point, but his mind is elsewhere, trapped in a memory 15 years old that still has teeth. His mother's office, that mahogany desk polished to a mirror shine, the smell of jasmine tea going cold in porcelain. He was 22 then, still believing love could survive in the same room as duty, still believing he had a choice. She didn't raise her voice. She never raises her voice. Volume is for people who lack control, and his mother is nothing if not controlled. She simply slid a folder across the desk. He can still hear that whisper of paper on wood. Her family has debts, his mother had said. Debts create vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities become liabilities. Liabilities destroy empires. The girl he loved, the one who laughed at his terrible jokes, who fell asleep on his shoulder during late-night study sessions, who made him feel like being ordinary was enough. She was gone by the end of the week. No explanation, no goodbye. No opportunity for him to fight or beg or prove himself. Just gone, erased, as if she'd never existed. That was the year he learned his lesson. Love has a price. Power always pays in full. The meeting ends. Handshakes, professional nods. The choreography of men who deal in billions, but pretend it's just another Tuesday. He walks to his car, and the late afternoon sun turns everything gold. That particular quality of autumn light that makes the world look both beautiful and dying. But he feels none of its warmth. His phone buzzes. Another blind date invitation from his mother's assistant, Mrs. Kim, who's been orchestrating these encounters for 3 years with the resigned efficiency of someone performing a ritual she knows is pointless. Yoon Si-ren this time, daughter of a telecommunications empire, Princeton-educated, speaks 4 languages, perfect on paper, which means perfectly empty in practice. He's met versions of her before. Women who research his portfolio before meeting him, women who know his net worth before his middle name, women who would marry him for his empire and call it love because they wouldn't know the difference. He deletes the message without responding. Mrs. Kim will follow up. She always does. That night, in a city 300 miles from home where he's supposed to be closing a distribution deal, where his hotel suite costs more than most people earn in a month, Ji-hoon does something uncharacteristic. He walks. No destination, no itinerary, no assistant shadowing him with a tablet full of schedules. Just his polished shoes on cracked pavement, tie loosened for the first time all day, jacket slung over one shoulder. The streets here are different from the sanitized corridors of his usual world. Messier, louder, more alive in a way that makes his carefully constructed life feel like a museum exhibit. Neon signs flicker in languages he doesn't speak. The smell of grilled meat and motor oil and human sweat hangs thick in the humid air. People jostle past without recognition, without deference. And it's been so long since he's been anonymous that he's forgotten what it feels like to be unseen. He finds himself standing outside a small restaurant, drawn by nothing he can articulate, nothing special about it, Plastic chairs and primary colors faded to pastels, cheap laminate tables that wobble. The kind of place that exists in every city, serving food to people who measure meals against their budgets. Through the window, through the grease-filmed glass, he sees her. Kimi moves like someone who's measured every second of her shift against the money it produces. She's wiping down tables, hair pulled back in a ponytail that's coming loose, face blank with the kind of exhaustion that's become furniture in her life. A customer waves for the check. She delivers it without flourish, without the theater of service, just professional execution. She treats everyone the same, the construction worker, the student, the businessman in the expensive suit, all equal, all temporary. There's something about the economy of her movements, the complete absence of performance, that makes everyone else he knows feel like actors in a play they don't realize they're performing. She's not trying to be anything other than what she is, a woman working, tired, focused on getting through the shift. Ji-hoon walks in. The bell above the door announces him with a tinny jingle. He orders something he won't remember. She brings it without ceremony, sets it down with practiced care, walks away. Their eyes meet for a half second. She doesn't linger, doesn't register his watch, a Patek Philippe that costs more than she'll make this year, doesn't notice his clothes, the quiet markers of wealth that usually precede him into every room. She treats him exactly like the construction worker 2 tables over. This unsettles him more than any boardroom negotiation ever has. He comes back 3 days later, then 5 days after that. Never predictably, never obviously, just shows up. The 4th visit, she speaks first. "You're back," she noted. "The food's decent," he replied. She glanced at his half-eaten plate and said, "You're a terrible liar. The food's mediocre at best." He almost smiled. "Maybe I like mediocre." "No one likes mediocre. They just tolerate it," she said, refilling his water without asking. "So why are you really here?" He doesn't have an answer for that, not one he can say out loud. The 6th visit, she's counting the register at closing. He's the last customer again. She looks up without surprise. "You timed this on purpose," she stated. "Maybe," he admitted. "That's either romantic or creepy," she said. "I haven't decided." "What would make it romantic?" he asked quietly. She thought about it. "If I wanted you here." "Do you?" he asked quietly. She doesn't answer, but she doesn't tell him to leave either. He stands to go. "For what it's worth, I think you're too smart for this job." "And I think you're too sad for whatever your job is," she countered, closing the register. "We're probably both right." That stops him. No one calls him sad. No one sees past the suits and the composure and the careful control. "What makes you think I'm sad?" he asked. "You eat alone, you come here instead of wherever people like you usually go, and you don't talk about yourself," she said, leaning against the counter. "People who are happy talk about themselves. You ask questions about everyone else." "Maybe I'm just curious," he suggested. "Maybe. Or maybe you're lonely and you don't know how to fix it," she said, picking up her bag. "Being rich doesn't mean you're not lonely. Sometimes it guarantees it." He watches her lock up. "Can I walk you home?" he asked. "No," she said. "Why not?" "Because I don't need you to," she answered, starting to walk. "But you can walk in the same direction if you want." They walk in silence for 2 blocks. The city at night is different, quieter, more honest, the day's performance stripped away. Then she speaks. "What do you actually do? And don't lie," she demanded. "I run my family's company," he said. "What kind of company?" "Distribution, manufacturing, import-export. It's boring," he dismissed. "You're lying again," she said. "How do you know?" "Because boring things don't make people sad," she said, stopping at a corner. "This is where I turn. You go that way." "How do you know where I'm going?" he asked, surprised. "Your hotel is that direction. I've seen you walk back," she explained, pausing. "You're not as mysterious as you think you are." He watches her disappear into the night and realizes 2 things. She sees him more clearly than anyone has in years, and she's already protecting herself from him. The next visit, he brings tea, not coffee, tea, because he's noticed she only drinks tea. She looks at the cup, suspicious. "What's this?" she asked. "You mentioned you didn't sleep well. Thought this might help," he said. "I didn't mention that," she countered. "You mentioned working a double shift. I inferred," he replied. She took the cup and studied him. "You're doing that again." "Doing what?" "Paying attention to things people don't usually notice," she said, taking a sip. "It's unsettling." "Should I stop?" he asked. "I don't know yet," she admitted. They talk, actually talk, not about work or money or backgrounds, about small things. She tells him about the regular who orders the same thing every day but insists on reading the entire menu first. He tells her about the CEO who brings his own pens to meetings because he doesn't trust other people's ink. She laughs, really laughs, and the sound lodges itself somewhere behind his ribs. "You're different than I thought," she said. "How?" he asked. "I thought you'd be more entitled, more demanding," she replied. "I might be, you just haven't seen it yet," he warned gently. "Honesty, that's new," she noted, finishing her tea. "Most people in your position spend a lot of energy pretending they're not in your position. And you? Do you pretend?" "No, I can't afford to," she said, standing up. "Pretending is expensive, requires maintaining an image. I just am what I am." "And what are you?" "Tired, broke, sending money home to people who need it more than I do," she listed, picking up the empty cup. "But not bitter. That's important. A lot of people in my position get bitter. I decided not to." "Why?" "Because bitter doesn't pay bills and it doesn't get you anywhere," she said, heading back to work. "Thanks for the tea." Over the following weeks, they fall into a pattern. He shows up, she engages, they talk. Nothing dramatic, nothing definable, just presence, regular and unexplained. He learns things in fragments. She works double shifts more often than not, sends money home, he doesn't know where home is yet, doesn't ask because asking feels like claiming information he hasn't earned. She keeps receipts, every single one, stores them in an envelope she carries in her bag, tracks expenses obsessively in a notebook with a cracked spine. She doesn't drink coffee, only tea, and takes it black because milk costs extra, and that matters. She has a scar on her left hand, 3 inches long from what looks like a burn or a blade. When he asked about it once, she said kitchen accident, and changed the subject so smoothly he almost didn't notice the wall going up. When she's tired, really tired, she rolls her shoulders back 3 times before taking the next order, like she's physically resetting herself. She's kind to elderly customers, patient with indecisive ones, but has 0 tolerance for men who lean too close or let their eyes linger too long. She reads during breaks, always paperbacks, always dog-eared, probably from the second-hand store 2 blocks over. What he doesn't learn is why she never asks about him. Everyone asks eventually. It's unavoidable, the social script people follow without thinking. But Kemi never follows the script. She responds when he speaks, answers when he asks, but she never initiates, never probes, never expresses curiosity about who he is beyond this moment, this table, this transaction. This should discourage him. Instead, it makes him want to stay. 2 weeks in, she's on her break, reading a paperback in the alley behind a restaurant. He finds her there. "Stalking me now?" she asked, without looking up. "I was walking by," he claimed. "No, you weren't. This alley goes nowhere," she pointed out. He sat on the crate next to her. "What are you reading?" She showed him the cover. Romance novel. "Ironic, right?" "Why ironic?" "Because I don't believe in this," she said, gesturing to the book. "Rich guy, poor girl, love conquers all. It's fantasy. Maybe that's why you read it," he suggested. "Maybe," she said, closing the book. "You ever read romance novels?" "No." "You should. They teach you something," she told him. "Like what?" "Like how people in power always think they're helping when really they're just rearranging furniture," she said, lighting a cigarette. "The guy always saves the girl, pays her debts, fixes her problems, and she's supposed to be grateful." "You wouldn't be grateful?" he asked. "I'd be trapped," she said, taking a drag. "Because then everything I have comes from him. My home, my job, my choices, and the second he gets tired of me, I'm back to nothing. Except now I'm older and I forgot how to survive on my own." "Not every man is like that," he defended. "No, but every man with power is," she said, looking at him directly. "You seem nice, I mean that, but I'm not stupid. I see your watch, your shoes, the way people look at you when you walk in. You're not some regular guy." "Does that matter?" "It might. I haven't decided yet." she said, stubbing out her cigarette. "But I'm not looking to be saved, so if that's what this is—" "It's not," he insisted. "Good, because I like you. And I don't like many people," she said, standing up. "My break's over." He watches her go back inside and realizes she sees him completely, sees the power, sees the danger, and she's protecting herself from what he could do to her life if she let him in. The realization should make him back away. Instead, it makes him want to prove her wrong. 3 weeks in, they're walking after her shift. The ritual has become comfortable now, expected. "Tell me something real," she asked. "About what?" "About you. Something that's not in your Wikipedia page." "I don't have a Wikipedia page," he claimed. "Liar. Everyone like you has a Wikipedia page." He's quiet for a moment. Then he speaks. "I was in love once, in college," he admitted. "What happened?" "My mother made her disappear." Kemi stopped walking. Made her disappear how? "Paid her family's debts with conditions. The condition was she had to leave and never contact me again," he explained. "And you let her?" she asked. The question cuts him deep. "I was 22. I didn't know how to fight." "Do you know how now?" "I don't know. I haven't had a reason to find out." She started walking again. "That's sad." "You think I'm sad?" "I think you gave up. There's a difference," she said, glancing at him. "You're doing it again, aren't you? Letting someone else make your choices." "Who?" "Your mother, your company, your responsibilities, everyone except you." "It's not that simple." "It never is," she said, stopping at her corner. "But here's the thing. I won't disappear that easily. No one can pay me to leave because I don't owe anyone anything. So if you decide you want this, whatever this is, you're going to have to actually decide, not just let it happen." "And what if I decide yes?" he asked. "Then you'd better mean it, because I don't do halfway," she warned, turning toward her building. "Good night, Jihoon." It's the first time she's used his name. The next week, something shifts. He starts rearranging meetings, not canceling, that would be irresponsible, would trigger alarms, just rearranging, pushing back a lunch here, moving a call there, creating windows where before there were none. Daniel notices but says nothing. His assistant, Miss Choi, raises an eyebrow when he asks to reschedule a dinner with investors, but she complies. He's not being irresponsible, he's being selective, choosing, but the difference is thinner than he wants to admit. Back home, his mother calls, not about business, about him. "You sound different," his mother said. "I'm tired," he deflected. "You're distracted. There's a difference." A pause, calculated for maximum impact. "Is there someone?" He could lie. He's good at lying when necessary, but something about his mother's tone, clinical, already calculating, makes him reckless. "Yes," he answered. 5 seconds of silence. He counts them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each second feels like a door closing. "I see," she said, and those 2 words contain volumes. "We'll discuss this when you return." She hangs up. Jihoon stares at his phone and feels the walls closing in. But the next night, he's back at the restaurant. Kemi sees him and something passes across her face, something quickly hidden. Relief? Pleasure? Fear? He can't read it before it's gone. "You're consistent, I'll give you that," she said. "I'll set down your usual order without asking." Consistency can be comforting or suffocating. "Which is this?" She doesn't answer, just walks away with something that might be a smile. Their conversations deepen. She tells him about her father, briefly, carefully, like handling something sharp. "He taught me that owing people is more dangerous than being broke," he said. He helped a friend once, business partner, gave him money when the banks wouldn't touch him. The friend paid him back by taking everything, the business, the house, even tried to take my mother, though that's a longer story. She stopped walking, looked at a storefront without really seeing it. "My father spent 5 years in court getting back half of what he lost. He died before he could finish. Heart attack. The doctor said stress. I say betrayal," she said, turning to him. "So no, I don't borrow, I don't accept help, I don't owe. Ji-hoon doesn't offer comfort, doesn't offer platitudes. I'm sorry, he said simply. She nods, keeps walking, doesn't invite him to follow, but doesn't tell him to stop either. This becomes their routine. Walk, talk, part ways at the corner where she turns toward her apartment and he heads back to his hotel. No labels, no promises, no acknowledgement of what this is becoming, but Ji-hoon feels it changing, feels himself changing in ways that terrify him. The way he catches himself smiling at nothing during board meetings, his mind wandering to something Kemi said about the city smelling different when it rains. The way her voice plays in his head when he's signing contracts, a counterpoint to all the serious men saying serious things about money and power. The way he starts measuring time as before Kemi and after Kemi. He's falling, slowly, catastrophically. One evening, she's not at the restaurant. The owner, a tired man who's never asked Ji-hoon's name but always recognizes him now, says she called in sick. Ji-hoon's chest tightens, a physical sensation like someone's fist closing around his lungs. He gets her address from the owner too easily, which should concern him but doesn't. 4th floor, peeling paint on the exterior walls, the smell of someone else's dinner seeping through thin walls. He climbs the stairs, the elevator is broken, has been for months according to the taped sign, and knocks on her door. She opens it after a long pause, wrapped in a blanket despite the warmth, face flushed with fever, eyes glassy. "You shouldn't be here," she said weakly. "I know. I look terrible. You look sick. That's the same thing." She almost smiled. He brings soup from a decent restaurant. She protests, weakly, too sick to maintain her usual walls. He insists, gently. She eats 3 spoonfuls before falling asleep mid-sentence, the way genuinely sick people do. He sits in her kitchen chair, mismatched, probably from a thrift store, wobbling on uneven legs, watching her breathe, watching the rise and fall of her chest under the worn blanket, and realizes with absolute clarity that this is the first time in his adult life he's felt necessary, not because of his name or his money or his ability to make phone calls that change people's lives, but because she's sick and he brought soup. That's enough. That's everything. It terrifies him. When she wakes 2 hours later, groggy and disoriented, he's still there. "You're weird," she said, voice rough. "I know. You should go home." "I will." But he stays another 30 minutes until she falls asleep again, until he's sure she's stable. He locks her door from inside and closes it gently, walks 4 flights down in the dark because the stairwell lights are burnt out. That night in his hotel bed that's too big and too empty, he understands something irrevocable has shifted. He's not just interested anymore, not just attracted, he's invested in a way that compromises everything he's built his life around. Every business lesson says to cut losses early, identify bad investments before they become catastrophic, protect the core asset at all costs. But he can't make himself walk away. The next week, something changes in Kemi's life. He doesn't witness it directly, but he sees the effects. She's less tense, less worried. When he asks casually if everything's okay, she says her landlord suddenly became reasonable, rent staying the same. Said the owner reconsidered, she tells him, and there's confusion in her voice because this isn't how things work in her experience. Her suspicion rises. She doesn't believe in coincidences. She confronts him that night in the alley behind the restaurant where they've started meeting because it's private. "Did you do something?" she asked. He considers lying. It would be easy, but her eyes are too knowing. "I don't know what you mean," he evaded. "My landlord, the rent. Did you do something?" she pressed. He met her eyes. "I made a call, that's all." "That's all?" Her voice didn't rise, which somehow made it worse. "You made a call, just like that, without asking me, without thinking that maybe I'd want to handle my own life? You needed help. I needed to handle it myself. Why does it matter how it got fixed if it's fixed?" he argued. She stared at him, really stared. "Because when you fix things for people, they stop being people. They become problems you solved, projects you completed," she said, lighting a cigarette with perfectly steady hands. "I'm not your project." He doesn't understand, not really. He sees the logic but doesn't feel it. But he sees the hurt in her face, sees the wall going back up. "I'm sorry," he offered. She nodded and took a drag. "Just don't do it again." She doesn't forgive him, but she doesn't leave either. Meanwhile, back at headquarters, the cracks are showing. Ji-hoon misses a quarterly review, just forgets it completely, something that's never happened in his professional life, arrives 20 minutes late to a meeting with Japanese investors and offers no explanation. His assistant finds him staring at his phone during a conference call, completely checked out. Daniel pulls him aside after a presentation. "Is everything okay?" Daniel asked. "Fine," Ji-hoon replied. "You seem somewhere else." Ji-hoon doesn't deny it, can't deny it. Daniel knows him too well. "Is it something I should worry about?" Daniel probed. "No." "Is it something you should worry about?" Ji-hoon doesn't answer. Daniel nods slowly, understanding everything in the silence. Back in the city where Kemi lives, their relationship continues to deepen despite the warning signs, or maybe because of them. There's an urgency now, unspoken but present, like they both sense an ending approaching. They're walking after her shift when she speaks. "I'm scared of you," she admitted. He stopped. "Why?" "Not of you physically. I'm scared of what you can do, what you might do without asking, what you think is helping but is actually—" She trailed off. "You have too much power, and I have too little. That imbalance, it's dangerous." "I would never hurt you," he vowed. "I know, but hurt isn't always intentional," she said, keeping pace. "My father didn't mean to trust the wrong person. Your mother probably thought she was protecting you when she made that girl disappear. Good intentions don't make the damage less real." "So what do we do?" he asked. "I don't know," she looked at him, "but I need you to promise me something." "Anything." "Don't fix my life without asking. Don't solve my problems because you can. Don't use your power to make things easier for me." She stopped him. "If you do, I'll leave. I mean that. I'll walk away and you'll never see me again." "I promise," he said. He means it when he says it. 3 weeks later, when he hears through channels he shouldn't have that she's facing eviction, he can't help himself. The building is being sold, developers, luxury condos, all tenants out in 30 days. No negotiation, just the brutal mathematics of real estate. He tells himself this is different. This isn't interference, it's prevention, not control, protection. She needs help, and he has the power to provide it. What kind of person would he be if he didn't? He makes 3 calls. By morning, the building sale is blocked. Legal complications, zoning issues. The developers pull out. Within a week, the building is purchased by an LLC he created years ago. The eviction notices are rescinded. Tenants can stay, rents frozen. He tells himself he'll never tell her. It's better this way. She keeps her apartment, he keeps his conscience clear, everyone wins. 3 weeks pass. They're more careful around each other now, more careful than before. She senses something but can't name it. The air between them feels different, heavier. Then she gets a call from her landlord. "About the building," the landlord started. "There's been some confusion about the ownership." "What kind of confusion?" Kemi asked. "Well, technically, the new owner it's complicated. There's an LLC, but the documentation shows—" The landlord paused. "Look, I probably shouldn't be telling you this." Kemi's hands went cold. "Tell me anyway." That night, she shows up at his hotel, doesn't call first, just appears in the lobby and tells the front desk to call his room. When he comes down, she's standing by the window, looking at the city lights. Her face is perfectly calm, which terrifies him more than anger. "You bought the building," she said. It wasn't a question. He froze. "How did you—" "Then how is it like?" She turned to face him. "Explain to me how you buying the building where I live is different from controlling where I live." "I was protecting you." "From what? From struggling? From being human? From having to make hard choices?" Her voice stayed steady. "I've been living in a place you own, paying rent to myself, basically, going to sleep every night thinking I'm independent, when really I'm just, what, your pet project? Your charity case?" "You're not. Then what am I?" She stepped closer. Because from where I'm standing, I'm something you collected, something you fixed, something you solved. The word solved hits like a physical blow. I did it because I cared about you, he said, hearing how weak it sounded. You did it because you couldn't stand me watching handle it myself, because you have the power to make problems disappear, so you think you should. You think that's love, she said, picking up her bag. But it's not love, it's control, and I won't live in a cage you built, no matter how expensive it is. Kemi, please. Did you ask me? Her voice cracked slightly. Did you ask me if I wanted you to do this? Did you ask me if I wanted to be saved? He doesn't answer, because they both know he didn't. That's the problem, she said quietly. You decided for me. You decided what I needed, what was best for me, how my life should work, and you did it all without asking because you thought you knew better. She headed for the door. That's not love. That's ownership. What do you want me to do? Sell it back? Undo it? I want you to understand why it's already too late for that, she said, stopping at the door. The damage isn't the building. The damage is that you thought this was okay, that you thought you had the right. She leaves. He stands in the lobby for 20 minutes after she's gone, understanding too late that he proved her right, proved every fear she had about men with power, proved that he loved her the only way he knew how, by trying to control her world until it was safe. Back home, the situation continues to deteriorate. Not dramatically, not obviously, just a slow erosion of confidence. During a conference call, Daniel has to repeat a question twice. In a presentation, Ji-hoon loses his train of thought. His mother's assistant mentions he's declined 4 dinner invitations in 2 months. The partners notice. They don't say anything directly, but Ji-hoon sees it in their faces, the doubt, the concern. Daniel finally pulls him aside. You're still here, but you're not here, you understand? Yes, I understand. Is it fixable? I don't know. Daniel nods, says nothing else, but Ji-hoon sees the worry. His mother calls that night. You sound different. I'm tired. You're distracted. There's a difference. A pause. Is there someone? He could lie, chooses honesty. Yes. 5 seconds of silence. I see. We'll discuss this when you return. The summons comes 3 days later. His mother is waiting in his office when he arrives at dawn. She's 63, elegant in the way money and discipline produce, terrifying in her stillness. She doesn't yell. She never yells. She simply places a folder on his desk. He recognizes the gesture, has seen it before. Her name is Kemi Okoye. 28, works 2 jobs, sends most of her income overseas, Nigeria specifically. No debt, which is admirable, but no savings either. No education beyond high school, no prospects beyond service work. Independent to the point of self-destruction. She paused. She's a liability. She's not. You've missed 3 critical meetings because of her. The Nakamura deal is stalling because you're distracted. Our partners are asking questions about your commitment, your focus, your stability. His mother leaned forward slightly. They're asking if you're reliable. I am reliable. Are you? Because the evidence suggests otherwise. She tapped the folder. To what are you committed? The company or this girl? I can manage both. You think you're the first man to say that. Your father said the same thing. His mother's voice didn't waver. Do you know what I learned watching him try to balance his heart and his empire? Watching him pour energy into both until there was nothing left? She paused. Hearts are flexible. They bend, they adapt, they forgive. Empires are not. Empires demand everything. And if you can't give everything, they find someone who can. Ji-hoon says nothing. End it, his mother said, cleanly, quickly, or I will. The threat hangs in the air. She's made this threat before. She followed through. I'll handle it, he said quietly. His mother nodded. I'm not asking you to explain yourself. I'm telling you what I see. A man who's destroying everything he's built for someone he barely knows. I know her. You know how she makes you feel. That's different. His mother leaned back. You think I'm cruel. You think I don't understand. But I do understand. Better than you think. I'm not asking you to stop feeling. I'm asking you to choose what matters more." She stands, walks to the window. You can't love her honestly. You can't tell her who you really are, what you really do, what your life actually demands. Because if you do, she'll see what I see, that you're asking her to disappear into your world while pretending she has a choice. The words land harder than he wants to admit. "End it," she said again, "before you destroy her, because that's what you're doing. You're buying buildings and fixing problems and rearranging her life without asking, because you can't stand that she doesn't need you. You're making her need you, and eventually she'll hate you for it." His mother leaves. Ji-hoon sits in the dark and realizes she's right about one thing. He hasn't been honest. Not with Kimmy, not with himself. He's been playing at being ordinary while wielding extraordinary power, and that's the cruelest thing of all. Kemi sits in her apartment, the apartment she now knows isn't really hers, and tries to pack. She's made the decision. She's leaving. It should be simple, except it's not. Her hands shake as she wraps a plate in newspaper. She tells herself it's anger, but it's not just anger. It's grief. Because she loved him, loves him. That's the unbearable part. She loved the way he listened, the way he asked questions and waited for answers, the way he didn't perform or posture, the way he looked at her like she was complicated and interesting. She loved who he thought he was. The problem is, she still loves who he actually is, even now, even knowing what he did. Her phone buzzes. A text from him. "Can we talk?" She stares at it, knows she should ignore it, knows talking will make this harder. She types, "Tomorrow, the park, 6 p.m. Then she sits on her floor, surrounded by half-packed boxes, and lets herself cry. Not because he betrayed her, but because he loved her the only way he knew how, and it wasn't enough. Because good intentions don't matter when power makes every gesture suspect. She cries because tomorrow she has to walk away from the first person in years who made her feel seen. And she cries because staying would mean becoming someone she spent her life refusing to be. Someone who owes, someone who accepts, someone who lets herself be saved. She cries because sometimes the right choice still breaks your heart. By morning, her eyes are dry, her boxes are packed, her decision is made. But when she meets him in the park, when she sees his face, she almost doesn't have the strength to say no. Almost. The park is nearly empty, golden hour light turning everything amber and sharp. She's already sitting when he arrives. He sits, leaving space between them. Neither speaks for a long moment. Finally, he speaks. "I'm sorry," he said. "I know you are. I didn't understand." "I know that too." She looked at him. "That's what makes this so hard. You didn't do it to hurt me. You did it because you care. But caring isn't enough when it comes with power. I can undo it, sell the building, walk away completely, whatever you need. It's not about the building anymore." She turned to face him fully. "It's about what it represents. You saw a problem, you fixed it, without asking, without thinking I deserved to be part of that decision, and you'll do it again. Maybe with something smaller, maybe something bigger, but you'll do it because that's who you are. I can change." "Can you? Really?" Her voice was gentle, which made it worse. "Because changing means watching me struggle and not intervening, watching me fail and not saving me, watching me make bad choices and respecting my right to make them. Can you do that?" He wants to say yes, but the honesty between them had been their foundation. "I don't know." She nodded slowly. "At least you're honest. Tell me what to do. Tell me how to fix this." "You can't. That's what you don't understand. Some things can't be fixed. Some things just are." She took a breath. "I love you. I need you to know that. This isn't me leaving because I don't care." The words hit him like a physical blow. "Then stay," he begged. "I can't, because if I stay, I become someone I promised myself I'd never be. Someone who accepts help she didn't ask for. Someone who lives in a world shaped by someone else's decisions. Someone who stops trusting herself because it's easier to trust you. Her voice cracked slightly. And eventually, I'll resent you for it. Even though it's not your fault, even though you were just trying to love me, I'll resent you, and it'll poison everything, and we'll end up hating each other instead of just missing each other. I don't want to miss you. I want you here. I know, but what you want doesn't change what I need. She stood up. I need to know that my life is mine, that my choices are mine, that my struggles are mine, even if that means struggling alone. He stood too. So that's it? We just walk away? What else can we do? You can't stop being powerful. I can't accept rescue. There's no middle ground here. She picked up her bag. Maybe in another life, maybe if we'd met differently, if the power was balanced, if you'd learned earlier that love isn't about protecting people from their own lives. She trailed off. But we didn't, and you didn't, and this is where we are. I'm going to regret this for the rest of my life. Me too. She looked at him one last time, really looked like she was memorizing his face. But regret is better than resentment. Sadness is better than poison. She walks away. This time, he doesn't follow, because following would be another assertion of power, another refusal to let her choose. So he stands there, in the golden light fading to blue, and watches her become a silhouette, then a shadow, then gone, and understands that the most loving thing he can do is let her go. 3 days later, the Nakamura deal closes. Jihoon is present, focused, sharp. His partners breathe easier. Daniel claps him on the shoulder and says, "Good to have you back." His mother sends a text, "Well done." But that night, alone in his apartment, Jihoon sits with the silence and understands what he's lost. Not just a woman, not just a relationship, but the version of himself that existed when he was with her. The man who listened more than he spoke, who asked instead of assumed, who felt necessary for reasons unrelated to power. He opens his phone, scrolls to their text thread. The last message? Tomorrow, the park, 6 p.m. He types, "I understand now. Too late, but I understand." He hovers over send, then deletes it. Because even now, even understanding, he wants to reach out, wants to fix, wants to bridge the gap. He puts the phone down, lets her go, really lets her go. Across the city, Kemi unpacks in her new apartment, smaller, cheaper, 40-minute commute, but hers, entirely hers. She tells herself it was the right choice, that she'd make it again, that independence matters more than comfort, agency more than love. But at night, she lies awake and remembers the way he brought tea without being asked, the way he listened to her romance novel speech without arguing, the way he admitted he didn't know how to fight, the way he looked at her like she was teaching him something just by existing. She wonders if he thinks about her, then tells herself it doesn't matter. But it does. 6 weeks later, Jihoon hears her name in passing. A colleague mentions a new catering company. West African food. Incredible. Woman just started it. Says she saved for 3 years to do it without investors. His heart stops. "What's it called?" he asked. "Something with Kemi in the name." "Why?" the colleague asked. "No reason," Jihoon said. That night, he looks it up, finds her website, sees her picture. The same tired eyes, but smiling, really smiling. The kind of smile she never gave him because she was always protecting herself. He picks up the phone. Could call, could place an order, could engineer a meeting. He puts it down because the most loving thing he can do is let her build her life without him. Let her succeed without his help. Let her thrive without his interference. It's the first time in his life he's chosen not to act when he has the power to act. It feels like freedom. It feels like grief. It feels like the beginning of understanding what love actually requires. 1 year later, Jihoon is walking through the city when he passes a restaurant with plastic chairs. Not the same one, just similar. But it stops him. He stands there, remembering what it felt like to be anonymous, to be judged by his jokes instead of his portfolio, to want someone's attention more than their compliance. He's dating someone now, appropriate. His mother approves. She's intelligent, successful, from his world. They understand each other's pressures. It's comfortable. It's empty. But he shows up. He tries. He doesn't buy buildings or fix problems or try to save her because she doesn't need saving, and he's finally learned that trying to save people who don't need it is just another form of control. His phone rings. Work. Another deal, another empire that needs building. He answers, but as he walks away from that restaurant, he understands the truth. Some people come into your life to teach you that love isn't about having the power to protect someone. It's about having the courage to let them face their own life, make their own mistakes, build their own world, even when you could make it easier. Some people teach you that the most profound act of love is restraint. And if you learn that lesson too late, you carry it like a scar, like a compass, like a reminder of the man you were and the man you're slowly, painfully becoming. The city lights come on. The empire continues, stable and strong. He has everything he's supposed to want, everything except the one person who made him feel human. But somewhere in the same city, in a small kitchen that smells like home and memory, Kemi is plating food for customers who will never know her story. She's building something, slowly, on her terms. She thinks about him sometimes, not every day, just when something reminds her, when a customer asks thoughtful questions instead of demands, when someone listens more than they speak. She tells herself she made the right choice. She doesn't examine whether that's true, because sometimes the right choice still breaks your heart. Sometimes you have to walk away from real love to protect something more important, your sense of self, your agency, your belief that you're strong enough to build a life on your own terms. Sometimes love isn't enough, not because the feeling isn't real, but because the foundation is wrong. They both learned this. They both paid for the lesson. And they both carry it forward, different people than they were, marked by a love that was real and mutual and still impossible. Two people, one city, separated by choices that had to be made and power that couldn't be unmade. They don't regret loving each other. They regret love wasn't enough to bridge the gap that made their relationship impossible from the start. The real tragedy, not that they stopped caring, but that caring couldn't change the mathematics of power that made their relationship impossible from the start. The camera pulls back from both their lives running parallel, close enough to cross paths, far enough they never do. And in the space between them, there's understanding. Not closure, not resolution, not healing, just understanding. And sometimes, that has to be enough. And that is where we leave Jihoon and Kemi, two people who loved each other enough to let go. I have to know, what would you have done? Was Kemi right to leave to protect her independence, or should she have stayed and fought for him? Let me know in the comments. I'm dying to hear your take. If this story touched your heart, share it with a friend who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories where soul meets Lagos. Until next time, keep your standards high, my lovies.